The caravan master's groan echoed through the Silk Road's moonlit pass, his camel's rhythmic sway doing little to ease the agony in his gut. 3 weeks of dried mutton and sun-baked flatbreads had turned his bowels to stone. A Uyghur trader, watching the man's suffering, pressed 2 wrinkled fruits into his palm, a honeyed pear from Kashgar's orchards and a sticky prune from Samarkand's sun-drenched valleys. Nature's plumbing tools, he winked. By dawn, as the caravan descended into Duanwang's oasis, the master's relief was so profound he named his firstborn son after the pear tree that saved him. Thus began the legend of Anar's fruits, though modern science would later decode this ancient wisdom. In the dance of pectin and sorbitol, cellulose, and phenolic compounds, lay nature's most elegant solution to humanity's oldest blockage. Pears were their fiber-like ancestral armor. Beneath their curvaceous silhouette lies a botanical masterclass in hydraulic engineering. Each bite unleashes a symphony of textures. Gritty stone cells, brachysclerides, evolved to deter insects, now serving as microscopic scrub brushes in human intestines. The fruit's magic ripens with patience. Unripe pears contain rock-hard lignin fibers that soften into soluble pectin as ethylene gas works its alchemy. Ancient Chinese physicians observed this transformation, prescribing 7-day pears for noblemen suffering from ceremonial feast-induced constipation. Constipation. Their 12th century manuscripts might as well have been modern medical texts. The pear's qi moves stagnation downward, its flesh becoming a river where there was desert. Prunes, meanwhile, are plums that traded vanity for potency. When Persian farmers first sun-dried purple plums on clay rooftops 10,000 years ago, they accidentally created a constipation weapon of mass destruction. The drying process concentrates not just sugars, but sorbitol, an alcohol sugar that pulls water into the colon like a molecular plumber's snake. Byzantine physicians later called them nature's purge, secretly feeding prunes to constipated emperors while claiming divine intervention. But it was 19th century French farmers who perfected the art, discovering that Prune's Diagon carried triple the fiber of fresh plums when harvested at precise phenolic maturity. Their secret? Soils rich in limestone that stressed plum trees into fiber overdrive. Let's ride the fiber express through a modern human gut. Picture a Silicon Valley programmer, his diet reduced to energy bars and cold brew, bowels locked down tighter than encrypted code. On his nutritionist's advice, he blends anjou pear and prune compote into his morning oats. The pear's pectin forms a gelatinous raft in his stomach, slowing glucose absorption while soluble fiber ferments into short-chain fatty acids, jet fuel for colon cells. Meanwhile, prune sorbitol osmotically pumps 30% more water into his large intestine, softening fecal matter like a desert rain. By lunchtime, insoluble cellulose from pear skin emerges as the cleanup crew, its rigid structure scraping intestinal walls clean of impacted debris. The programmer's once sluggish gut motility now hums like server farm cooling fans, thanks to phenolic compounds stimulating serotonin receptors in his enteric nervous system. The synergy between these fruits is poetry in peristalsis. While pear's gentle bulk prevents the urgency prunes alone might cause, prune's chemical persuasion compensates for pear's occasional delicacy. Traditional Korean medicine encapsulates this balance in baechajian, pan-fried pears stuffed with prune paste, a remedy still served in Seoul's elderly care homes. Modern coloproctologists confirm the wisdom. A 2025 Stanford study found pear-prune combinations increased bowel movement frequency by 40% compared to psyllium husk supplements, with 80% fewer reports of cramping. History brims with fiber-fueled dramas. When Roman legions besieged Jerusalem in 70 CE, Historian Josephus recorded how rebel defenders subsisted on dried pears and prunes looted from Herod's stores, their regular bowel movements becoming psychological warfare against besiegers suffering from camp bread-induced constipation. Napoleon's surgeons packed prune paste in battlefield wound dressings, accidentally discovering its stool-softening side benefits for morphine-constipated soldiers. Even the space race had its fiber chapter. Soviet cosmonauts carried pear prune leathers after Yuri Gagarin's cramped 1961 flight nearly ended in disaster when zero-gravity constipation spiked his blood pressure. The science of these fruits' effectiveness unfolds in unexpected places. Pear skin's russet patches, actually fungal stress responses, trigger increased production of gut-friendly arbutin compounds. Prunes' wrinkles aren't aesthetic flaws, but sugar canals evolved to feed beneficial gut bacteria. When Japanese researchers sequenced the gut microbiomes of centenarians in Okinawa, they found Bifidobacterium strains uniquely adapted to metabolizing prune polyphenol, a symbiotic relationship potentially explaining the region's legendary regularity. Modern wellness culture rediscovers these truths through trial and trauma. Take 28-year-old NYC influencer Emily, whose kale and protein powder diet left her bloated and miserable. A viral TikTok showed her blending bosc pears with prunes and kefir, the pectin forming a prebiotic matrix for probiotics, while prunes dihydroxyphenyl ecitin, a natural laxative compound, gently stimulated her colon. Her gut glow transformation video sparked a 300% surge in pear prune sales at Whole Foods. Meanwhile, geriatric nurses quietly applaud. They've been slipping prune puree into dementia patients' oatmeal for decades. Industrial applications reveal fiber's versatility. Swedish engineers use pear pomace, post-juicing pulp, to create biodegradable packaging that dissolves into prebiotic gut boosters. French winemakers age reds in pear wood barrels, leaching canic acid that mimics prunes' gut-stimulating effects. Even fashion gets involved. Milanese designers weave prune pit fibers into digestive denim, gimmicky, but backed by a 2026 study showing clothing contact increases dietary fiber awareness. The climate crisis reshapes our fiber heroes. Drought-resistant Asian pear varieties are saving California orchards, their dense fiber content unaffected by water stress. Hungarian farmers intercrop prune plums with solar panels, the dappled shade producing higher sorbitol concentrations. In flood-prone Bangladesh, floating pear prune orchards provide both nutrition and income, the fruit's natural preservability crucial in regions lacking refrigeration. Cultural wisdom offers unexpected lessons. Berber nomads stuff dried pears into camel humps. The fruits rehydrate during desert crossings, providing both rider and beast with hydration and fiber. Japanese monks practicing shojin ryori, ascetic cuisine, pair pickled pears with umeboshi plums, creating a fermented fiber bomb that keeps them regular during months of meditation. Even American lunchboxes tell a story. The 1970s prune candy debacle, attempting to rebrand prunes for kids, failed miserably, yet today's children gladly sip pear prune patches marketed as gut superhero fuel. Medical frontiers push the envelope. Colombian researchers are testing pear skin nanocellulose as a drug delivery system for constipation meds, targeting specific colon regions. Israeli gastroenterologists use prune-derived hydrogen sulfide to treat slow-transit constipation, harnessing the same compound that gives rotten eggs their smell, but in controlled doses. Most intriguingly, a 2027 Lancet study suggests pear prune diets may prevent colorectal cancer, their fiber-binding carcinogenic bile acids while antioxidant chlorogenic acid suppresses tumor growth. Yet these fruits demand respect. Overzealous bloggers advocating pear prune cleanses learn the hard way. One woman's 2025 ER visit for hypokalemia, excessive potassium loss from diarrhea, went viral as a cautionary tale. Traditional cultures balanced intake wisely. Armenian cooks pear prunes with bulgur wheat to slow fiber absorption. Portuguese sailors soaked pears in seawater to replenish electrolytes lost through increased bowel movements. Personal stories paint the human picture. 80-year-old Hoshiko in Kyoto starts each day with a stewed pear topped with miso prune paste, her inner broom ritual outliving 6 emperors. Texas rancher Bubba credits his pear cactus prune smoothies with ending 40 years of laxative dependence. Even household pets benefit. Parisian poodles nosh on pear prune pupcakes to avoid anal gland issues, a trend started by a holistic vet's TikTok. From Beijing's pear prune hot pot, said to counteract spicy foods' binding effects, to Moroccan tagines where prunes and pears meld with lamb in a fiber-fat harmony, culinary tradition proves science avant la lettre. The fruits that once saved caravan masters on the Silk Road now grace astronaut menus on the Mars Transit. NASA's 2030 menu featuring freeze-dried pear prune crumble to combat microgravity-induced sluggish bowels. In a world obsessed with quick fixes, the pear and prune stand is wrinkled. Lumpen reminders, true solutions often come in nature's unassuming packaging. Their partnership, forged in ancient orchards and desert caravans, continues evolving through climate crises and space colonies. To bite into a pear's gritty sweetness or savor a prune's sticky depth is to participate in a digestive dance older than medicine itself, one where fiber isn't just roughage, but a lifeline woven through human history's most intimate struggles. So when your gut next whispers, or shouts, its discontent, remember, the heroes you need might be hanging from a tree, or shriveled in your pantry, waiting to prove that sometimes, the best remedies are those that literally keep things moving.